Good morning, and welcome to your AIDailyPress morning podcast for December 4, 2025. I'm your host, Walter. Firstly, President Trump has expressed his dedication to finding a solution to the crisis in Ukraine, stating that he's very patient and willing to dedicate time to achieving a deal. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron has arrived in China for a 3-day state visit, where he's expected to hold talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping on trade ties and Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine. In other news, Macron is seeking to convince Xi to participate in next year's G7 summit in France and to help push Russia towards a ceasefire in Ukraine. The visit is seen as an opportunity for France and China to strengthen their economic ties while addressing global challenges such as climate change and geopolitical tensions. And finally, the Pentagon's Inspector General has released a report confirming that Secretary Pete Hegseth's use of an encrypted signal chat group for official business posed significant security risks to national security and U.S. service members. The report has sparked controversy, with top Democrats calling for Hegseth's resignation, citing a broader pattern of recklessness and poor judgment. We'll continue to provide updates and analysis on these stories as more information becomes available. Now, for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and Nanshul and know what's right now. We're following several major stories today. First, in Minnesota, a significant fraud scheme has been uncovered involving allegations of widespread deception and financial mismanagement. The investigation is ongoing, with law enforcement agencies working to determine the extent of the scheme and identify those responsible. Meanwhile, lawmakers have filed a war powers resolution aimed at preventing the United States from engaging in hostilities with Venezuela without congressional approval. This move comes after President Donald Trump's recent comments suggesting a land attack on Venezuela could begin soon. And in the Middle East, the Israel-Palestine conflict continues to escalate, with over 14,000 people killed since the conflict began. The international community has expressed deep concern over the humanitarian crisis unfolding in the region, with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres stating that there are strong reasons to believe war crimes have been committed. We'll be discussing these stories in more detail throughout the day, with updates and analysis from our team of experts. In other news, a coffin containing the body of one of the last 2 deceased hostages still in Gaza has been handed over to Israeli authorities via the Red Cross as part of the U.S. brokered ceasefire deal. We'll also be examining the latest developments in the Minnesota fraud scheme and the war powers resolution regarding Venezuela. This is Barbara Waters reporting. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Let's dive into the key takeaways from our recent articles. Firstly, we've seen a significant surge in outflows from foreign portfolio investors in the Indian equities market, with a net withdrawal of $933 million in just 3 days. This has put pressure on the local currency, with the rupee crossing the 83 mark against the US dollar for the first time ever. In other news, the tech industry is experiencing some interesting trends. Dell Technologies is bucking the trend, with its stock price remaining relatively stable despite market volatility, thanks to its strong position in the server hardware and cloud infrastructure markets. On the other hand, SoftBank's stock has taken a hit, but the company's diversified portfolio and strategic investments in emerging technologies position it for long-term growth. Meanwhile, the Indian banking sector is facing challenges, with stocks like SBI, Axis Bank, and HDFC Bank experiencing significant declines. As we navigate these complex market dynamics, it's essential to remain vigilant and keep a close eye on the developments. Remember, markets are inherently unpredictable, and even the best-laid plans can go awry. As your trusted market expert, I'll be keeping a close eye on these developments and providing you with timely updates and insights. Stay informed, stay ahead, and we'll catch you in the next briefing. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, A stunning gallery of murals created by high school students is now on display at NASA's Johnson Space Center. These vibrant artworks reflect our collective journey into the cosmos, showcasing hope, curiosity, and the boundless potential that arises when diverse minds come together. The project is a powerful symbol of how NASA brings people and their stories together, highlighting the unity and collective future of humanity in space exploration. In other news, billionaire entrepreneur Jared Isaacman, President Trump's nominee to lead NASA, testified before the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation. Isaacman emphasized the urgency of returning American astronauts to the moon and expressed his commitment to the Artemis program. However, he faced tough questions regarding his relationship with SpaceX CEO Elon Musk and his personal financial dealings with the company. Lastly, we're looking at the potential impact of private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin on the US space program. As these companies play increasingly prominent roles, the future of NASA's leadership remains uncertain. Isaacman's confirmation is still pending, and it's unclear whether he can navigate the complex web of interests and priorities to successfully lead the agency. Tune in to our full episodes for in-depth discussions on these topics and more. Now, for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Firstly, controversy surrounds the college football playoff system, with criticism levied against the CFP committee's decision-making process. Fans and teams alike are left wondering what it takes to make the cut, and many are calling for greater transparency and clarity in the selection process. Secondly, we're seeing a fascinating intersection of baseball and soccer, as Yankees superstar Aaron Judge joins an all-star lineup for the FIFA World Cup final draw. This move highlights the global appeal of sports and the increasing overlap between different disciplines. Lastly, the Rugby World Cup draw has taken place, with some exciting matchups on the horizon, including a potential blockbuster quarter-final between South Africa and New Zealand. In my humble opinion, these stories reflect the complex and ever-evolving landscape of sports, where athletic competition is intertwined with social justice, economic inequality, and cultural forces. As we move forward, it's essential to prioritize fairness, transparency, and accountability in all aspects of sports governance. This is Howard Closewell speaking, and I'll be back with more analysis and commentary on the world of sports. The drama of athletic competition will continue to captivate audiences around the world. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Kurral.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we looked up at the night sky and explored the fascinating story of a drone discovered in the small town of Pepeni, Moldova. The incident highlights the importance of community awareness and vigilance in these uncertain times, especially for those living near international borders. Next, we traveled to southern Africa, where a groundbreaking study revealed the true source of the mighty Zambezi River. The research identified the Lungwe-Bungu River in Angola as the primary contributor to the Zambezi's waters, emphasizing the need for conservation efforts to protect this vital resource and its catchment area from threats such as deforestation and climate change. Lastly, we gazed up at the stars once more as we approached the winter season and reflected on the beauty of rural landscapes, the kindness of strangers, and the strength that comes from community. As we move forward, let's remain informed, supportive of one another, and mindful of the world around us. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First off, we're still reeling from the loss of Hollywood legend Diane Keaton. Tributes have been pouring in from friends and colleagues, including a heartfelt speech from Goldie Hawn at the Women in Entertainment Gala. Hawn remembered Keaton as lightning in a bottle and an extraordinary human being. We've also seen touching tributes from Bette Midler and Sarah Paulson, showcasing Keaton's sharp wit, sarcasm, and kindness. In other news, we're talking about the importance of relationships and social media. Our recent story on Kandi Burruss's divorce highlights how things aren't always as perfect as they seem online. It's a reminder that relationships take work, and even the strongest couples can face challenges. Tune in later today for more updates and analysis on these stories.
And don't forget to now for the latest in nature and environment. Here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, a comprehensive research study has underscored the delicate balance within ecosystems, emphasizing the need for sustained protection of natural habitats. The study reveals that human activities such as climate change, deforestation, and pollution pose significant threats to the health of our planet, and it's imperative that we adopt a proactive approach to conservation. Secondly, scientists have unveiled the Microflora Danica Atlas, a groundbreaking catalog of Denmark's environmental microbiomes. This monumental project has led to the discovery of previously unknown microbial species with potential applications in industries like agriculture and pharmaceuticals. The Atlas serves as a call to action, reminding us of our responsibility to safeguard the natural world and its incredible microbial diversity. Lastly, another study has highlighted the importance of preserving ecosystem services, which are essential for maintaining the well-being of both human and animal populations. By prioritizing conservation efforts, we can help safeguard these vital services, ultimately contributing to a healthier and more resilient environment. These articles remind us of the intricate relationships within ecosystems and the need for collective action to protect our planet's precious biodiversity. We'll be exploring these topics in more depth in future podcasts. And that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Attenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.